All right, what's going on, everybody? Alex here, Nickens Landscaping and Excavating. It's going to take a while to get used to saying that. I've been saying Nickens Lawn and Landscape for 12 years, so it's going to take a while to get used to saying the new one. Probably screwed up a couple times, but it is what it is. Super excited about the transition. Thanks to all you guys who watched the other video, gave us thumbs up, gave us encouragement in the comments. We do appreciate all that. I read all that stuff. So thanks again, guys. Hope you guys all had a good new year. Hope you were able to take off some time, spend it with fam, spend it with your friends, whatever, doing things that you enjoy doing. I know there's some snow sweeping across the north a little bit into the northeast, so hope you guys were safe. Hope you guys made some money. But that's what we're thinking about today. I got this Arctic here behind me, hooked up on the 595. We got to do some work on this. It needs new cutting edges. The other ones were just worn out. Also curious too, I was going to ask this on a Facebook page, but I'll ask it here too. Ours was really worn over on that panel over here and that panel over here. The two middle weren't worn as bad, so I assume that's probably common, and I assume that we should probably try to rotate those regularly, but I'm going to leave that here. Let me know in the comments, those of you guys that run these sectional plows, if that's your experience and if you rotate them and how often you rotate them and all that. So this was our first one. We've had it for, I don't know, 3 or 4 years now. We've had it for a while. It's been great to us. Knock on wood, haven't had to do anything to it until now. So super excited about that, super happy about that. We bought another one. This is the 10.5. We've got a 13.5 outside. They're both the LD model. We run them on the T595s, so a 74 horse machine. And yeah, we love them. They're great. So got to do that today. But with that, I'm going to be doing a little bit of touch-up paint stuff. We got some areas. I'll show you this real quick before I get started. But we got some areas that I'm going to touch up. This side's not too bad. This side looks pretty good. I'm still going to touch up some of these scratches and stuff around here. I'm going to try to clean up some of that stuff. Across the top here is pretty bad. The whole front really just needs touch up and some primer and scuffing and sanding. But over here I did some test paint. Bought some paint at Tractor Supply, and I also bought the Arctic touch-up paint. And I'm not gonna lie, with this, the patina on this one, the Tractor Supply stuff matches better than the factory stuff, which is really weird. But this is what we got. So really just gonna give it a quick scuff, quick touch up. And that side's the worst spot right there. There's no paint left on that side. So I'm not going to take off any nuts or bolts on any of this side stuff. I'm not going to open up that can of worms. I don't want to get into that. The back of this thing is pretty rusty. So I have a feeling when I start to open this up, it's going to get expensive. And I'm going to be waiting on parts and things like that. So I'm not going to do any of that. I just want to get the cutting edges put on, get everything touched up. And I am going to spray all the nuts and bolts with PV Blaster. And just try to prepare myself for the day that comes that I do have to mess with that. But that's what we got going on first, and then I got some molding on my truck if I have time. That fell off that I need to put back on, so I can show you guys how to do that if I have time, but we're definitely going to get this done. So for any snow plow, salt spreader, salt truck, truck frame, anything like that, it's going to be kind of your same procedure. So what I'm going to use for most of this is a wire wheel. It's not this one. Here's a few different kinds. Let's see what I'm showing you here. Here's a few different kinds of wire wheel, wire brushes, different things. This is just like a Scotch-Brite pad. All this kind of stuff will help you clean it up, but initially, if it's like mine, if it's like this, if it's something ugly in the snowplow world, this is what you're going to want to use. Some sort of grinder. You're going to want to get yourself a wire wheel. That will knock all this rust right off and get it down to where we can sand it if we want to, or whatever, go further from there. But that'll get all the initial stuff off. Just be super careful with these things, guys. I got hurt one time with one of these. I had one of the wires go into my eye. Ugly situation, but this is what you're going to want to use. Something of this sort. A regular pair of safety glasses isn't enough. Put on safety glasses, then you can put on something on top of that. But these wires, if you do something like this, if you do a flat surface, you'll be fine. But when you start getting into the nooks and crannies, you'll feel those wires hitting you, and when you're done, they'll be laying all over the floor around you, and some of them will come off hard. So put this on, protect your entire face, not just your eyes. Wear gloves, wear long sleeves, just be careful. These things, like I said, I ended up in the hospital because of a wire wheel. So just be super careful, but it's not rocket science. If you protect yourself, you'll be protected. So wear the right gear, but that's what we're going to do. take this wire wheel, sand this plow as much as we can, and then we're gonna get it touched up, get these cutting edges on, and get this thing ready for snow. They're calling for potential big snow next week, so we'll see. Today is January 2nd, and I think they're saying that the potential snow is gonna start on like the 6th, and it's basically supposed to snow and ice and just be a mess for about a week. So I want to be prepared. I'm actually behind. I was hoping to have this done before Christmas, but I was kind of procrastinating it, and I knew that this is really the only thing that I have to do, and it's not going to take me but a few hours. So here we are, last minute, like always, is what it is. It never fails. But we're going to get it done today, and we'll be ready. All right, guys, so you can see here, basically what it does is just makes it pretty much smooth. It knocks all the heavy rust off. Anywhere that's already close to metal, it'll knock it down to metal, basically. So then you still want to take probably some sandpaper or something, depending on how far you want to go with this. But what I'm going to do is hit this whole plow real quick, and then I'm going to come back with some sandpaper and touch up some spots a little bit better, but I'm not going to go too far with this. This plow's old. This plow has made us a lot of money, and like I said, I don't want to open up a can of worms that I don't have to. So everything's working fine. We got the old cutting edges ripped off of there. We're going to put those on there once we get everything painted up, but that's the plan. Just get her cleaned up, get it looking as best we can. I might end up pulling these decals off the side here and putting our decal on there. I don't know, but get this thing sanded up and get it painted. All right, guys, so I shut the camera off for a second to try to figure out what I wanted to do, and my plans kind of changed. So I was using the wire wheel, and that was working, I guess, okay, but I wasn't really happy with it. So I'll show you what I got here. So this is one I hit with the wire wheel. This is the one that was hit really, really quickly with the wire wheel. That is what I started to use. So still not super happy with the way that this one's working, but this is working better. So it's like an abrasive wheel. Never used one of these things before. It says polycarbide abrasive wheel. It's 4.5 inch for a regular grinder. So I started using that, and that was working better down there on the tough stuff. I came up here where there was some bad spots. You can see it kind of focuses everything. It's almost like a flap wheel really, but it's working a little bit better. Up here I hit with it, and this turned out really smooth, so it got it down a lot better. So I was using that, and then I started sanding, and then I started thinking more about these sides. So I started pulling off some of the stickers, some of the safety stickers, which were totally gone. You couldn't even see them. And then I was like, well, if I'm gonna do it, I might as well take off the shoes. And then whenever I started thinking about that, I was like, well, started looking at them. Well, they really need to have the cutting edge welded underneath them. So those are going to come off. I got the other side off already. I got that sitting right there. So I'm going to break this side off, get this off. I'm going to take this to my welder, have him weld. I got an old cutting edge from a Boss plow, so I'm going to have him weld that underneath here on each side and get that beefed up, so we'll be good there. And then I started cleaning the back of this thing with, doesn't really look as nice now as it was whenever I cleaned it right away, but I started cleaning the back of this with some degreaser. I put some Purple Power on there, and you can see like how much cleaner this panel is than these panels over here, and just the difference in color really. It's kind of crazy really, but sprayed all this down. So I'm going to wipe this down. I'm going to have to wash all this again, of course. So I sprayed all this down. I'm going to wipe it down. I'm going to finish getting that shoe off the other side, and then I think I'm probably going to take these stickers off. And what I'm going to end up doing, I think, is painting this outside section black. And I'll put our logo on there, I think is what I'm gonna do. So it's gonna take longer than I was anticipating, but like I said, my plans kind of changed here. Once I got into it, I'm like, well, if I'm gonna do it, I might as well do it. So I started going a little bit further, and I'm just gonna take my time and try to do it right. I got probably realistically 3 days until it needs to be ready to go, so I'm gonna give myself that time, and that still gives me a few days before the storm. So if we need to take it out and, you know, put it on our lot, whatever, depending on what ends up actually happening. But as of right now, they're saying that we may get a doozy, so we'll see. But I'm gonna pull this shoe off. The other side, 2 of the 6 bolts broke, so having to use a breaker bar, a big breaker bar with a metal bar on it. So we'll see how this side comes off, but on the other side we broke 2. This front one is loose already, so I think that one will come out. The ones that do come loose, I'm just going back and forth with them, trying to at least get them moving a little bit. I didn't spray anything with PB because I didn't want, or any kind of lubricant, because I didn't want that all over the plow since we're going to be painting soon. So I'm doing this dry, and honestly, I'm going to replace them all anyway, so I don't care which ones break. All right, so about the same on this side. 3 broke, 3 came out. One of the ones that came out, see here. That thing's pretty roached. Definitely need new bolts. But glad they came off. I mean, that was actually pretty easy. Each side only took me, that side there, I saw the recording time, it was only 6 minutes. The other side, probably about the same. So not too bad to get those off. I'm gonna take them, like I said, I'm gonna hit them with the wire wheel or one of these sanding mechanisms over here, but I'm gonna hit them with something, clean them up a little bit, take them to him, have him weld the this side. You can see here, the very tip is worn down, but the middle's all fine, and then back here it starts to get worn towards the back, so it's definitely leaning towards the back. There was times where it was leaning towards the front. These things were well used whenever I got them. I probably realistically only used this plow, I don't know, 7 days, 7 times, 7 storms, something like that. Not all that much in the past few years. There was a couple storms right when we got it that we didn't use it because we didn't have the right tracks. So yeah, that's what we got with that. I'm gonna keep going on this. I'm gonna get these decals off the side. I'll show you what I'm using for that. This guy right here. It's a little rubber wheel, goes on a drill. I think you can put it on a grinder too if you want, but I don't know exactly what they're called, but decal remover, that's what I call it. It gets vinyl off of any kind of metal. If you're doing it like on your truck or something, you gotta be careful because that thing gets hot pretty quick. But on this, I'm not worried about that because this is all getting repainted and sanded and all that stuff. So I'm gonna go after it and get these decals off, and then finish sanding and touching up over here, do what I'm gonna do. And then I'm probably gonna spray the whole thing down with purple power, let it sit for a little bit, then I'm gonna scrub it, and then I'm gonna power wash it. That's real time. You can see how quick that worked. Took off the C there. ready to be branded. All right, real time, that was 9 minutes and 28 seconds. So pretty good whenever you can use one of those guys. Works out nice. Once they start to wear, they'll start to jump on you. Like you can see, this one's all worn at an angle now. This one was pretty much new. So they don't last forever, but I'm gonna get the other side off, and then I'm gonna keep working on sanding, trying to get this thing prepped. All right, guys, so I got all the decals off. I went around the whole plow, took every sticker off. There's nothing left, but I did that, and I was working away, and I just wasn't satisfied. So what I ended up doing is taking the sides off, and that was not super easy. I was kind of misled, so I went on each side, and I tried this back bolt here, and both of them were loose. So I was like, all right, cool, I'm taking the sides off. Well, these other two front ones were a different story. Both sides I had to heat them up, use a lot of PB blaster, work them back and forth a lot before they wanted to come off. They're still in good shape, so they're not totally destroyed. So I'll back up a little bit, why I ended up messing with these sides. So whenever the side is on, you have a bolt coming through here, a bolt coming through here, and a bolt coming through here. This is your pivot point, and then these two move as the plow moves. So that piece slides in there. So there's supposed to be a bushing in there. Let me see if I can find one. Okay, so down here there's one still in there. So that's what it's supposed to look like. So you're supposed to have basically the washer that covers that up. Then you have a bushing, then your plow will rest on that bushing, and then another washer on the outside, and then your nut holds it all on, and then there's a cotter pin that goes in that hole you can see right there. So each one of these, so there's two right here, and then you got your bolt that goes in right here. So you got three coming out. Each one is supposed to have a bushing. Well, I was looking through the slotted part right here that moves when the plow moves, or that allows the plow to move, and I saw threads. And I was like, that's weird, there's supposed to be a bushing in there. Well, I stuck my finger in there, bushing gone. So I was like, well, that's not cool. So these sides are coming off. So once I saw that, I knew the sides had to come off. I had to do some repairs. Didn't want to do this, but this is how these projects go, and this is why I don't like opening up these projects unless I have a lot of time, and unless I'm ready for it to be down for a little bit. So hopefully we got this all figured out. I ordered the bushings from a place called Snow Motion in Mattoon, Illinois. They're only about an hour and a half or 2 hours from me, something like that. I ordered my bushings through them, and they're supposed to be here pretty quickly. So hopefully they'll be here before we need them. Yeah, it is what it is. I don't think we're going to have any snow. I think I got about a week or so, so should be good. But that's what we're dealing with. So both sides ended up coming off, and I'm sanding it much deeper as well. So once I realized that the sides had to come off and it was going to be more of a project, things changed. So this side was the same way. I think I'm pretty lucky because it doesn't look like anything's wore down. I think I caught it. Oh, wrong angle there. See if I can get this to focus in on here. So a lot of guys will have problems with these pieces right here, and they're welded into the frame. I can't get it to focus on this thing. Anyway, these two pins are welded into the frame on both sides, and a lot of guys will have problems with those. They'll get worn down, they'll end up snapping off, they won't be able to get their nut off, they'll break it off, things like that. So those can be very problematic on these plows. From what I've read, I haven't had problems with it myself, but that's what I've read. So I was really careful to take those apart, but like I said, when I saw that there was no bushing, that bottom one's wore down a little bit. Top one looks good. Top one looks really good actually compared to the bottom one. But anyway, whenever I saw that those bushings were gone, I realized that I had to take these sides off. I have to get those bushings in there. If I don't, I'm gonna end up snapping these studs off and wearing them down, and that is a big problem. So Once I realized that the bushings were gone and wore out, it was time to tear it apart. So it is what it is on that, but once I realized that all that had to happen, I went and got myself a better sander because I realized I needed to go a step further and try to really make these sides as good as I possibly can now while they're off. So I went to Home Depot, got this little Milwaukee sander. It's a 5-inch orbital sander. Got the holes in it, a little vacuum deal, and then I bought the pads from them as well. It's got the Velcro deal on the bottom, so you gotta have the Velcro sanding discs. So that's what I got, and that's what I'm doing. So I'm just gonna again try to do this quickly. It's not working out the way that I was hoping that it would, but that's how these projects go. So it is what it is, and I knew what I was getting myself into. So I'm gonna get these sanded as fast as possible and try to get them sprayed, and then start working on this mold board. But I think what I'm gonna do is paint the outsides of the plow black, and I'm going to put my decal on it, and then everything, the insides of this, or the inside of the side, I'll paint yellow, and then I'm gonna paint all the plow yellow. So that's what we're gonna do. Alright guys, so I just finished washing the plow. I got everything cleaned up. I sprayed it down with purple power. I hand wiped everything down, and then I power washed it the best I could. Kind of is what it is at this point. Not much more I can do other than taking everything apart. So it is what it is. I'm going to clean this out. I'm going to wet all of this down so I can paint in here, and yeah, bring the plow in and get ready to start going with that. I don't know. There's a couple ways I can do it because I got to paint the front and the back. So I can either set it down and get it the best I can and then lift it up and finish it off, or I can set it on its face and do all the back stuff. I don't know how I'm going to do it yet, but first thing I got to do is clean this floor and then wet this down. Alright guys, so I got everything set up behind me. I got the floor wet. I got the heaters on. I got everything set to 65 in here, so not hot, but hot enough, I guess. At least it's something. So I'm gonna get going on this. I'm going to spray bomb some of it, and I'm going to use the gun for some of it. I'm gonna use the paint that I have with the gun, and then for the other paint, I didn't plan on going this far, so I already bought the spray paint, so I'm gonna use what I got. Could probably go a step or two further here, again, if I wanted to, but I'm gonna use what I got. First thing I got here is some primer. I'm gonna go ahead and hit all the bare metal with this, and then we'll jump in and start painting what we can with the spray paint, and then I'll probably get all of that done and then hit the gun at the end. So yeah, let's just get right in. And real quick, while I got it right here in front of me and while everything's clean, these are the two paints that I bought. These two right here, this is from Tractor Supply. That's what we're looking at here. But from Tractor Supply, these two here are School Bus Yellow. This one is Cub Cadet Yellow. So I had the Cub Cadet Yellow one here at the shop already. I bought it last year to touch things up and I never got around to it. So I had that one here. I went to Tractor Supply to buy two more of these and they didn't have it, but they had the School Bus Yellow. And honestly, I think the School Bus Yellow is a little bit closer. So what I'm gonna do is use this up for like a first layer, and then I'll come back and hit it with this. That way I can finish everything with this. So that's the plan there. And again, I kind of wish I was spraying this part of it, but I didn't plan on going this far, and it just is what it is. I'm gonna use this stuff up. This stuff's like $10 a gallon, so, or $10 a can. So it's not, I mean, it's cheap, but I got 30 bucks in it, so I might as well use it up. Trick that I'm going to use here for the first time. I've never tried it until today. I just tried it a little bit ago. It's going to work like a charm. One of the guys that works with me showed me this. He saw it on TikTok or something, but basically what you do is you got a Sawzall here with a long blade. You duct tape this. I tried doing it with a zip tie and that didn't work, but duct tape this right here and then lightly hit the trigger, and you can shake this can up really good, really fast. So that's what I'm gonna do there with those. And I got the spray bomb primer, and then I got the black that I'm gonna spray out of the gun, and I've also got some clear that I'm gonna spray out of a gun. I got some hardener too, so what I'm gonna do is put that hardener in with the clear, I guess, and try to get a nice seal over everything once I'm done. I don't know how that's gonna work. I'm not a paint pro by any means, but I'm gonna do the best I can with what I got. All right, so I took an old sheet and some paper towels and I covered up all the yellow the best I could. And what I'm gonna do, none of the black got sanded all the way down, so what I'm gonna do is just run through and touch up the black. It's pretty bad on this underside. A lot of that's pretty rusty down there. So I'm gonna go ahead and touch up all of this, get all the black done. I gotta go grab some more primer. Thought I had more, but I only had one can, so prime these up. This is the side, this is the outside for both of them. So this is the side that will be black. Leave these right side up, paint them black, and then once they're dry, we'll flip them over. So what I'm gonna do for these, so like I said, this is the outside, so I'm going to prime these, let it dry, flip them over, prime it, paint it, let it dry, flip it over, and then I can paint it black to finish it off, because this is the side that's gonna be black. So that's what I'll do. I'm gonna touch up all this black now, and then go grab some more primer. All right, guys, back here again. It's a new day. It's morning. It's about 5 a.m. Having some problems with inconsistency on this paint. It's spray paint. I know that's what I get buying all these different cans. I think at this point I've bought like 10 cans. So it is my own damn fault. I should have sprayed this thing. I shouldn't be messing with spray cans. But that's what I'm into now, and it is what it is at this point. I just got to get it finished. So I went last night, got some more cans. I think I'm 10 cans of spray paint deep now because of some issues that we're having with color differences, and I just want it to all match whenever it's done. But anyway, this is getting to be a super big headache. I should have sprayed this. If you're going to do this, don't use spray paint. On a positive note, I did get the spray paint can shaker figured out. Right here, hose clamp, bingo. Got my impact set up, throw a can in there, shake it for about 30 seconds, and that's way better than I'd ever be able to shake it by hand. So that's what I've been doing. It's been working out good. Well, I can't help but laugh at this point. It's looking good. Not happy about the road getting here, but it's looking good now. So, got this. Got yellow on that side. That's gonna be black on the outside. So it's nice, and we're gonna put our logo right there. Basically, what I want to put there. On the outsides, both sides, is this in white. So I think that'll look really clean. Everything's looking really good. Looking a million times better than it did. But man, never again. I'm serious. That was insane. That's too much. So here is not even the final tally. We're still gonna have probably 2 more to add to this. But I had this all in the trash can. I wanted to pull it out because I was curious myself. So 4 cans of primer right here, gone. Here is the messed up paint. So we've got these 2. I knew were a different color. Actually, just that one. So these were all supposed to be the same color except for one of them. So I was supposed to have one that was darker, okay? That I had at the beginning. So I had Those two at the beginning that I knew were going to be a different color. The rest of these right here are supposed to be the same color. That's 9 cans. We had 5 that were darker and 4 that were lighter. So that really screwed me up. But all in all, that's what we ended up having right there. 4 cans of primer, 5 cans of a lighter yellow, 6 cans of the darker finish yellow, 2 cans of black on the frame. That's the final tally. So note to self, if you ever do one of these plows again, get a gallon. Don't buy cans of spray paint. The primer probably fine because I was just touching up spots here and there. The black probably fine because I didn't use a lot of it, but that yellow I definitely should have got a gallon, but is what it is. You live and you learn, and all that matters to me is that it's done. It's looking good. All right, guys, got the cutting edges on, got it looking pretty good. Happy with the way that it looks now, but man, the road getting here was rough. Got the sides ready to go. Sitting over there. I'm going to put the sides on. I got my bushings, those came in. So this is what we got. All this is a piece of pipe. I'm going to take some measurements and put that in here for anyone who may need these on the fly, but literally all it is a piece of steel pipe that they cut down the size. So I'll take some measurements here to show anybody who may need these and may be in a pinch. All right, so I measured it up. The inner diameter is about 1 1/16, and the outer diameter is about 1 5/16. So if you need something, that's what you're gonna need, but if it's to get you by, like I said, anything that will slip over there will probably work. So that's what we gotta do. Put those sides on, and that's pretty much it. I got the shoes right here. These I just painted up. I got everything painted. We're going to put the old cutting edge on the bottom here before we put it back on the plow. So that won't get done in this video. We're probably gonna weld that tomorrow. So we'll go ahead and put these sides on and see what it looks like. All right, guys, so that is it. The final piece, the decals. I think it turned out sweet. Looks good. I'm happy with how it turned out. Looks much better than it did. Alright guys, let me know down in the comments what you thought of this video. If you made it all the way through, definitely let me know, because that's pretty cool. This was a long video, turned out to be way longer than I anticipated, but once I got into it, I wanted to keep it going, so show you guys kind of what it can take to get one of these looking good again. So, alright guys, that's all we got for this one. Give it a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought. If you're not subscribed, be sure to consider subscribing so you can catch future videos like these. Alright guys, I'm out of here. I'll see you in the next one.